Hello, everybody. My name is Marina Lilikina, and I'm instructor of NeuroGraphica. Today, we're going to be doing a quick drawing about removing our fears and worries. Before we start NeuroGraphica, I want to explain a few things. If you never had a NeuroGraphica or never tried to draw a NeuroGraphica, I want to explain a few quick rules that we're going to be using. If you can take your black markers and just repeat after me and try to copy so it looks exactly the way it is on my drawing. So we're going to be doing a lot of line, and it's not just wavy line. It goes from one side to another. It could cross. And it's we draw it from resistance. What it means is if you feel comfortable, you quickly switch the direction. We don't do it cyclic. It's not the wavy line, okay? So we try to consciously, constantly change the direction. So it does not, if we divide it, it does not repeat itself on any of the segments. The other important thing, see where they cross each other, we around the corners. All the corners in NeuroGraphica we always around. For example, if two lines cross each other, then nicely we around. Why we around in NeuroGraphica is because corners are dangerous for us, for our subconscious mind. It means harm, it means danger. And if we try to balance and harmonize whatever subject we are drawing on, we want everything to be smooth. So one more time, we do the line, which call neural line, and it's drawn from resistance, meaning you have to make yourself uncomfortable when you draw it. It's not cyclic or wavy. We constantly change its direction. And also, when I ask you to round, that means we round all the corners, all the crossings, right? Like this. You will see because you will be able to see what I'm doing. So just remember those two things. Now, a lot of us have fears, and it doesn't matter. Oh yeah, be careful because the marker is going to go through and it can ruin your table. So make sure you have several pieces of paper. So the fears, everybody can experience fears. It doesn't matter you're rich or poor. It doesn't matter what you have in reality. You can be very wealthy and still fear that you lose all the money or that you don't have enough. It's really all in our head. And when and how they formed, that's a different story. But what we're going to do today, we're going to pick a subject of, you can pick one subject of fear, for instance, fear of big money or fear of losing money or fear of being deadly sick or something, and then categorize that. Or you can write several fears. So what we're going to do, I'm going to take a timer. And for 2 minutes, you take a pen. And for 2 minutes, we're going to write everything that comes in our mind for that subject. So my subject is fear of big money. That's my subject. Your subject could be something different. And then I'm going to start writing. It could be just words. It could be random words. But we're going to do it for 2 minutes. Oops, my camera. Okay. So I'm starting it now. And let's go. is stop. Try to count how many words did you write? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 34, 35, 36, 37. I have 37 words. If it's less than 17, then you're really trying to control, and it's hard for you to get into your subconscious, or the subject that you are drawing is actually not as you're not as emotionally involved. So try to rethink again, what are your fears are. Maybe it's not your fears in reality. So now look at the list that you did, and you can probably characterize in a 5 or so general fears that you can name. So try to make few deep inhales and exhales. Inhale, exhale, calm yourself. Think about your fears. And we're going to draw about composition of 5 different fears. So fear number 1, I would think, let's say for me, is the expansion. I'm afraid to expand and grow. And if I have to do a figure, it will be some kind of ugly figure like that. That's how my fear looks. Okay? And when we draw Neurographica, we always check on 3 levels: our thoughts, our feelings, and what feelings we have in our body, in our physical body as well. So I feel very unpleasant right now, and I gonna draw 4 more fears of mine that I really don't like and would like to disappear. So I have another one, and you draw it as well. And another one. Our subconscious can hold only 5 plus minus subjects at the same time. So 5, 7 things is good enough. If you have 7 fears, that's fine. I'm gonna do just 5, so I don't overload my system. I have another one. I'm already getting a little bit excited in a negative way. I have to kind of breathe in, inhale and exhale and calm myself, because I'm getting a little bit hot and nervous. I feel uncomfortable feeling rising inside of me. When you draw it, you could feel nauseous, you could feel very uncomfortable. It's okay, just keep on drawing. It's the resistance that comes inside. We're going to work with that. That's normal. Just work through that. So I have 2 more fears, which I'm gonna like this. And 1 more fear. You take your time, just connect to each fear and feel it, and feel before you draw it, and reflect how your body, how your mind, how your thoughts are. So this is my 5 spheres that actually include, some of them include more than one in them. Sorry, I'm kind of a little bit overwhelmed because when you start doing NeuroGraphica, it's kind of overwhelming when you start connecting to things. So what we're going to do, and if you want, you can repeat after me. I acknowledge and accept my fears and give them space. And that's exactly what we did. We acknowledge our fears and we give them space. We don't ignore them. We don't try to rebuke them, because everything is, I always believe everything is for a reason. And sometimes, as we call, negative things are there actually trying to show us something and point something out for us, and being very useful for us as well. So we give them space, but it seems like that they are only in my head. And I give thanks to them, and I'll let go of my fears. And by letting go of your fears, we're going to do several steps. So first one, we're going to take each fear and put in a circle. It doesn't have to be a perfect circle. I have goosebumps. So, and the paper doesn't have borders in NeuroGraphica, so it doesn't have to be a perfect circle. It could be half circle if you don't have enough paper. So I put each of them in a circle. Why do we do that? Because for our subconscious, circle is safe. It's pretty hard to hurt yourself on a circle, right? It's not like something sharp like that. It's safe and secure in a circle. And what we're going to do, we're going to start running. Remember the neural lines that I was telling you that you draw from resistance? You start running them through your drawing, through your fears, in different directions. Okay? They can cross each other, just not under the straight angle, not under 90 degrees, but just, like that, not like straight angle. So we keep running neural lines. The more lines, the better. And when is it enough? When you feel that it's enough. Keep on running, keep on running. You need to take a deep breath. You do so. So we have a, as my daughter calls, kalaka malaka, like that. So far, anybody has questions? Everything is good? Everybody follow? Okay. So what do we do now? Now, as you can see, you can add more lines, that's no problem. But everything that we draw, we need to round now. Remember I told you how to round? If you see corner or crossing, you just round it. So it's not, there's no sharp corners. If it's too small, you can just cover it black. That's no problem. Okay, so we just color and round all the corners. It seems a lot, but think of it if you are working on your biggest fears, blocks, that been there for years, that sit very deep. You have to make sure everything is super smooth and safe. We're making everything inside super safe. Okay? And our ugly, messy drawings start taking a shape. So in our brain, in our subconscious, we're rewriting and recording a new story here. And we're also developing new neuron patterns because our brain doesn't differentiate that it's a piece of paper or it's brain or if it's fake or it's real. So we're recording the new story, the safe story, making a new history for ourselves where it's nice and safe and that those fears, those beliefs, they don't exist anymore. They serve their purpose. They help us probably survive. We need to be afraid sometimes. That's what brain does. It keeps us, that's how humankind survived. It keeps us scared from doing a lot of stupid things. And so it's a great mechanism that kept us safe. In some of our cases, it helps us to reach puberty and not die in the process, right? Because of the healthy fear. But some fears of self-doubt, of expansion, of going into unknown and experimenting and progressing and growing and expanding no longer serves us. So we want to let them go, make them into a safe zone and disappear. Now, most of the time in Neurographica, rounding takes a long time. And most of the time, people love it because it's very meditative, it's very peaceful, but some people might start feeling resistance and some people might don't want to round. Now, I want to tell you something important about rounding. If you drawing Neurographica, it's the best if you can start and finish the drawing and don't stop. But sometimes you have to stop and you have to go somewhere or do something, and that's okay. What important is this step in Neurographica called rounding must always be complete. If you need to go somewhere, finish rounding and then go and do, and then when you come back or tomorrow or whatever, you finish your drawing. So rule number 1, never leave your drawing unrounded, because it's almost the same as if you expose your electric wires and leave them all over the house. Accidents gonna happen, guaranteed. So this is a lot of conflicts, a lot of danger, and it's all left kind of on the open, untreated. And we don't want that. So always round. And if you think you might be interrupted, then just do a drawing next time when you have more time. So like I said before, some might find it fun and enjoy the process, and some might find it irritated. It's okay, just keep going through it. You can experience resistance at any level of algorithm. And that's okay, because we're changing, right? If the things will be so easy, then you will need to work on it. But once you kind of turning ship in the different directions, at some point things gonna start getting a little frustrating, and that's okay. You just work through it. And you can see when you look here, oh, it feels calm and better. You look here, it's a lot of tension, right? Try to cover, if you aren't already half of the drawing, just cover it and look at it and see how you feel by looking at the round side and then look at this side, right? And you're gonna feel, I guarantee you're gonna feel a huge difference. If you don't, it's okay too, because at the beginning, when I drew Neurographica, I didn't feel anything. My connection to my body, my feelings were so deeply shut that it took me a long time to truly start feeling again. And constantly double check. Did anything change the way you feel? If I was very anxious at the beginning and I just have to calm myself with the deep breath. No, I want to take a long exhale and I feel pretty relaxed. Now remember, our brain has two functions. It either scares you or it solves the problem. So when you fear something and you know it's just your fear, it's not like a fear, legitimate fear where like, don't jump, you're gonna die, it's too high. but it's fear of something that you know is just trying to stop you for no good reason, realize that you have a control over it. Just even by simply giving a different task to your brain, it will kind of start working in your favor, whatever command you give. You just whenever do that. But if you try, let's say before you go to bed, is and let's say you have a bad situation at work, or you have to have a conversation, unpleasant conversation, or you have a stage performance, or whatever it is, you simply say that you want a solution, you want to feel great, you want to, whatever you want. And while you sleep, your whole system going to work for you and come out with the best solution. Uh, Neurographica is great actually for it. We have a uh, algorithm of removing constraints. It's kind of like an alphabet of Neurographica. If you just Neurographica has 8 major algorithms, and one is like that, removing constraints. It's super useful. It's like an ambulance. If you know just that one, um, you can self-coach yourself and work on anything that bothers you. Doesn't matter if it's emotional, if it's material, if it's physical. You can just work through it. Several years ago, I was in a very difficult situation, and it was not only physically, financially, health-wise, emotionally. It was difficult in every possible way. And at sometimes I could only draw. And so I would just I would neurograph my brain on accepting the situation. I would neurograph my brain on communication with other people. I would add myself qualities that I was lacking at that moment so I can do a better negotiating. Um, you can really do a lot. You can just kind of reprogram your brain. And what's great is with humans, we're happy when we create. And drawing, I think, it's the basic thing. It's what we all have done it as children. Each one of us at some point were drawing something. So all of us can draw. And actually, those people that cannot draw, a good news, you don't need to know how to draw in Neurographica. If you know how to do the line and the circle, you're good to go, because the instructor will walk you through the algorithm. So even if you don't know how to draw, you guaranteed to have a beautiful drawing. Another beautiful thing in Neurographica, the drawing doesn't really matter. It's not about the drawing, it's about you and how you feel. If in the process of drawing you start feeling fantastic, if before we start drawing you felt sick or negative or sad, then when Neurographica is done correctly, at the end of the drawing, you are full of energy, you are beaming, you are happy. And when you think of your subject, you think that everything is possible. You have energy, you have faith that whatever you're going to do is going to work in your favor. And that's great. That's what we want. Because I believe we create our future from our state of being. And if we are down, if we are negative, if we are sad, if we in self-doubt, we can expect great future for ourselves, right? But if we believe we can do it, if we feel like we can make it, then we will do it and we will make it. So I just want to remind you again, as you run things, how do you feel? I feel pretty happy. My fears don't bother me much anymore. I actually feel pretty good. I feel stretching these triangles I see. That's why I do the lines. So it's okay if you want to add some lines. And yeah, as I'm drawing, I feel much, much better. I don't feel 100% yet, and I still kind of feel heaviness in my chest, but that nervousness where I have to gasp for air is gone. Remember, if something is too small, just color it. If the little circles are too small, too round, just color it black. Not a big thing. Okay, I almost rounded. Almost, I have one more. But yeah, compared to the rest of the picture, I almost rounded. Now you can do the same thing, but just um, with one figure. It works the same way, but you don't have to draw 5. You can just draw 1. I'll give you example. some years ago, I came in at work, and at the reception, the lady said, "Oh my God, you look like you have a black cloud above you." And it's true, I very rarely feel down, but I felt so heavy I couldn't understand why. I just woke up with the heavy, nasty feeling, couldn't shake it off, and it was getting worse. It's like you feel something bad is about to happen and you feel bad. I don't know. I really don't know what was it, but it was so deep, so bad. And then I remember, wait, I have 20 minutes. I can do one of the algorithms real quick and changed all that. And so I did. And I don't even remember how, but I remember that by the end of this 20 minutes that I was working on the drawing, I was like smiling and beaming. And then I thought, oh my God, I feel so different, so happy. And I don't even realize how it happened so quickly, so easily. I didn't even notice the change. So if you finish a rounding, that's great. If I'm the slowest one because I'm talking. If you didn't finish it, you can, there will be recording. You can put it on pause later and continue. But make sure you finish the rounding. And so what we're going to do is we're going to add some color now. We're going to take your pencils. And the color you add, there's only one rule for color. I will tell you later. But now you just pick the colors you feel like working on. I just look around and I just feel and look at what feels good. And I just start working on it. So the rule of to add the color to a neurographic drawing is pretty much you do the color the way you feel. The colors can overlap. The only rule is you can't color like, I'll show you, you can't color like this, like you're doing in a coloring book within the borders of the cell. You have to connect at least two or more cells and cross through the borders like that because you're connecting two neurons, okay? So you're making it together, shaping it all together like this, okay? Also, I'll suggest not to color like bottle up the color in one spot. Let it run freely through the drawing, you know? So it's not just like bottled up in one circle or whatever. And as you color, you're probably gonna run in some things where you didn't run. Just grab a marker and run the rest of them. And again, reflect how you felt when you add the color. What did you feel? How did it feel? If you find that you pick up wrong color and it doesn't feel good, don't force it. Stop it because it will just become worse. Then change the color. Whatever you add the color, it truly should resonate with you and you should feel really good. Just don't be surprised. Sometimes you will pick, if you have your colors that you hate, sometimes, depends on the subject, you might feel like using that color and you would feel good using it. That happened quite a few times with my clients as well. I don't know why that happens, but it happens and it's okay. So just truly listen yourself. Why I love Neurographica, as we grow up, we kind of get disconnected from our bodies, from our feelings, because here and there, um, society teaches us, don't feel that, don't cry there, don't do this, don't do that, and we stop listening to ourselves. We get disconnected from ourselves. And when we draw Neurographica, it's kind of impossible to draw without feeling. And the more we do it, the more we connect to ourselves. And it feels beautiful because it's almost like you're back to your true self. And when you connect it to yourself, you connect it to the universe, you connect it to God, you connect it to your creator. And when you have that power within you, then you are at peace. Then you do not fear the future. You do not afraid of anything might happen because you know you're in the best hands. You know you're going to get the best possible result. Then you have a trust within you that the world is actually created perfectly, and it was created and everything in it is for you and works in your favor. And when you have that knowledge truly deep inside of you, it's a great power. It's like a super magic power. Because then everything you do, you know you do the best, you know you do the right way, and you know the way everything happens is for the best possible reason for yourself. So I could say Neurographica taught me how to trust myself again and how to be me, how to be naked, vulnerable me in my true state, but not be scared that I can be hurt or destroyed. You know, I don't need the layers anymore. I can let go of layers. I can be just me. Check again. Look, I start feeling more and more happy. I don't feel like fears or whatever. When I think of the feeling that I had at the beginning, I can't help but kind of feel overjoyed now. I don't know about you. I hope you feel better as well. But that's how I feel. Feels really good to me now. The color usually helps. There's different steps of there's a pyramid of consciousness that's how Neurographica works, and there's steps, and with each step of algorithm we go deeper and deeper into subconscious. And like I was talking before, that we as humans are very cyclic. And to do something new and do better, we need lots of resources, but we can't get to them because subconscious has lots of resources, but nobody lets you, nobody will let you to get into subconscious. I mean, there are techniques to get there, but it's, there's always internal controller that stands there and doesn't let you in. And but with Neuroline, that's what Neuroline does. If you draw a Neuroline correct way, what it does, it bypasses the internal controller, gets down deep into subconscious, and gets the resources out and directs them into the subject that you are working on. And that's the beauty of it. It becomes very, very easy to do things. It's almost like they're happening on its own, you know? Like I said, it almost looks like magic, but it's not. It's just the way things work. You can stop at some point, look, step aside, look at your drawing, check how you're feeling, what changed, if anything changed. See if you need to add color somewhere, or you need to change your color, add something else. I feel like adding a blue would be good. Remember that the white is also a color. You don't have to color everything. If you feel like leaving some things white, that's okay too. When I was going through a lot of stress, and any little surprise could knock me out for good, I never left any space because I couldn't handle any surprises. Because leaving white space is, for me, in my drawings, it was like, okay, whatever life brings, I'm open. I didn't want to be open. I didn't want anything more than what I already have. I was like, leave me alone, just give me strength to deal with what I have. Right? So it depends what is comfortable for you. You want to color everything, that's fine. You want to leave some white space. If you're an artist and you know what colors mean, you can use the meaning of the colors and pick the desired colors to even amplify more of meaning and add more meaning to your drawings. If you don't, just do intuitively, whatever feels good. Does it feel good? Do it. And remember, you are the only one that need to like your drawing. It's not about how pretty or not pretty drawing. When you look, do you like what you see? Do you feel the energy inside and the happiness kind of getting elevated? Super. When you think of your subject, does it feel different now? Do you feel better? Do you feel good? That's the result we're looking for. That's how you know you did NeuroGraphica right. I feel like adding a little bit of purple. Okay, once again, see how you feel. If things feel good to you. So we're almost finished. We have 2 more steps. And what I'm going to do, if you have a thicker marker, take it. If not, use what you have. We're going to do field lines. Field lines is the same neural lines, but just bigger. Imagine it like a help from above. It's like a God's power or universe power that adds more help into your subject. It looks like a landscape. If you look from above, from helicopter height, and you see a river running through your land, that's how it looks. It could be 1, 2, or 3 lines. Look at your drawing and see where you feel them, and then just draw. So I think I'm gonna do 2, and I'm gonna do like this and like this. Okay, maybe I'll do one here like that. So this is my line, and once you do the field line, you have to round everything they cross. Once again, yes, rounding once again. So the field line, the reason I took a thicker marker, the field line is thicker than any other line on the drawing. When you look at your drawing, it has to stand out. Like you have to see it. It pops up at you. And that's why it's thicker line. Okay, and again, once again, this is the next step, and you will feel different, or maybe you don't feel anything, that's fine too, for a moment, when you do it. So did you feel anything when you draw a field line? Did it feel any different to you? If it did, how would you describe it to yourself? Did you feel different in your body? I usually feel warmth in my chest when I do field line. I didn't feel it this time, but usually it's pretty warm and welcoming feeling. It's like you're not alone. Okay, so I round one field line, and you can see when you look at my drawing, it pops up, right? You can see it's right there, and that's how it needs to look. It needs to be thicker than other lines and more visible. All right. So my field line around it, and we have a fixation left to do. The fixation is, again, it's the most thicker line in on the drawing. You can do it with the same marker if you don't have another, and just write it several times, or you can take a thicker one. And what we're going to do, we're going to draw a circle. It could be anywhere. Look at your drawing and see where you see you can draw a circle. It could be existing one, it could be somewhere else. What does it represent? It represents your subject, what you were drawing about. You were drawing about your fears and you want them gone, right? You want those fears to they serve their purpose and they need to go. So that's what that circle gonna represent for me. And I feel like doing whole new circle like this. Okay, I'm gonna make it a little bit thicker. And that's my fixation. That's my fearless life, free from all the fears that were bothering me and stopping me. And of course, we round. Everything we cross, once again, we round. Lots of rounding in NeuroGraphica. And again, when you learn about NeuroGraphica, we explain that that's all the conflicts, all the danger in that corners for our subconscious, because NeuroGraphica is built on Carl Jung psychology theory and how outside world shapes and figures affect us. And again, anything sharp is danger for us. It's a conflict. And as my teacher, Pavel Peskarov, is the person who created NeuroGraphica, he always said that it's better to solve everything on paper than deal with it later in life. So if you can round here and you have opportunity to round it on paper, it's easy that way than deal with one of the conflicts in real life later. And it's not a threat, it's just a warning, because there's so many we can prove it. There's so many things happen when people neglected to deal correctly with corners. So sometimes we learn that rule the hard way. And so it's rounded. When I look on my drawing, if you feel like finishing, adding some more color, and try to use brighter colors, because our brain needs something brighter to react to. So when we push harder on those pencils, you know, if you feel like, just add some color to it, make it pop up. At the end, you can do more touch-ups and made it the way you really like your drawing. When you look at it, you feel like smiling, you feel energized, you feel good. So that means everything done right, and we accomplish everything we need to accomplish here tonight. And once again, to check if everything is reached the way you planned, is if you think of all your fears and remember when you thought of them, How did it make you feel at the beginning of the drawing? Remember how anxious or heavy feeling in your chest or whatever you felt? And how do you feel now when you think about it? I I would share mine. I feel overall super joyful. I feel great. It's day and night, how I felt before. But if I want to be completely honest, I could stop here. It's actually a pretty good result. But I feel that there's a little bit of uneasy feeling in my chest, little bit. So I probably will do another drawing. So give yourself some time, see how you feel, and then if you feel like it's not complete or your fears are a little bit heavier than you expected, you can do another drawing. I will put the recording out on my page and on YouTube, and you can just do it again. And you can work on different blocks like that, you know. And like I said, even if you feel sad or you feel you had a bad conversation with your boss, with your child, partner, whatever, you can always just sit down. You can take a small piece of paper. You can take like a 1/4 of this paper and draw a little ugly figure, and then just do the neural lines and follow that drawing, and it should be, because it's smaller, it will not take a long time, but it will make you feel fantastic and you will come out of it like a winner. Well, thank you for joining us. And for those who are watching, thank you. You can sign up for my page, follow my page, and then you will know when I have a next class or next free online session. And thank you. And I wish you fearless life.